pleased with the Corolla right now. Put in a high amperage alternator, 90 amp. The stock was 70 amp and I was running a 70 amp, but it was refurbished. It was giving some weird symptoms. The lights would dim at high RPM a little bit of a misfire here and there. And the charge indicator would come on, but after going to this high amp one, the car feels great. Sounds better, pulls better. Oh yeah. Gotta love the howl of a 4AGE. Very pleased. Next is better injectors. Add it to the mod list. So, alright, so what was I thinking about? We'll wait till we get to the airport so I can enjoy a couple gear shifts on the way there. Oh yeah, lovely, lovely car. Where's the airport? Next right. I think it's too late for the pretty lights. Oh yeah, perfect idle. No RPM drop on decel. Very nice. You want to have a good electrical system. I think it's easier on my igniters and my coil when the alternators push plenty of power. I do run an MSD coil, NGK, spark plug wires of course, and NGK plugs. Gapped myself. 1000 RPM idle with the lights on. Yeah, we're good. So, what's been preoccupying me is the idea of, like, what are the motivations for what you do? So, I guess what that means is not exactly, I guess it's one thing to make a determination on what you do as far as, like, is it good or bad, right or wrong, you know. I think everyone has some sort of compass in their head to determine if they're doing a good thing or a bad thing. Not even morally, but just like, is this the correct choice or not? And it could be with anything at all. You know, it's just we make countless decisions every day, many of which are not even reflected upon, but there are many, at least I would assume for most people, that there's that brief moment of like questioning, is that the right choice? And that's not exactly what I'm talking about. So what I'm talking about is not whether the choice itself is correct or incorrect, but more so why was that choice made. So what I mean is, like, what is the foundation of that choice? Like, what is the reason that you're doing it? In other words, like, let me think of an example of something that would be objective. Okay, so here's a classic, right? So let's just say you're in a relationship and it ends poorly for whatever reason. Or it just ends not poorly. It just ends and you have a lot of thoughts about, like, gosh, what did I do wrong? Or what should I have done differently? Or what can I do to get this person back, or attract their attention, or find another person, for that matter. And so on social media, there's like this trend, kind of, this like bettering yourself. There's all these influencers that are like getting very trendy with advice on how guys should go make money, go work out, find God, what else? All these things about, like, better yourself, screw the girl, or screw the world, or screw your job, or whatever it is that you're peening for, chasing, striving for, right? Just instead better yourself. And the thing is there's these actions you can take, these decisions. Like, let's just take working out, for example. I don't work out, but it's a good example because it's very common that people hear about this. It's a very common recommendation for those who are stressed or depressed or struggling to work out, get healthier, get stronger. And so you'd think working out would be just almost objectively a good thing to do. But what I'm curious about and exploring is, like, why? So if you are only working out so that you can attract the attention of someone else, then you're really not improving yourself at all. Like, sure, visually, or like logistically on paper, you're stronger, more flexible, XYZ. But the source of that choice is poisoned. Like, it's dishonorable. So, like, if you are doing something and you're telling yourself, I'm doing this for myself, but you're not doing it for yourself, then essentially you're actively participating in a lie, is what I'm trying to say. Or at least what I concluded earlier this evening. That's not to say you shouldn't work out if you're depressed, but it's like, figure out what is the building blocks for your discontentment. And if it's that you want attention or you want something back, then you need to find out what is going to get you that, or you need to find out why you need that, or you need to prevent yourself from needing that if that's causing you a problem. Don't just blindly jump into something that is supposedly better for yourself, but really is simply serving as a distraction or providing some element of, like, false hope. Like, let's just say you work out and you build enough muscle to be 200 pounds or whatever. Then what then? Like, what happens if you don't get the response that you're hoping for? Is it all for nothing? Like, do you go deeper into depression? Do you keep building past your original goal into a point where you're bigger than you ever wanted to be, or whatever? And it goes with anything besides working out. It could be with making money or anything that just preoccupies the mind, because when you make a life choice, specifically, it could be any choice, but when you make a change in your life, you want it to be valuable in all circumstances, regardless of the results or the effects that it may have. It should be intrinsically valuable to your life. So, like, if you move away, like, you don't want to move away because you're running from something. You want to move away because wherever you're going to is what you want. Like, you want to move somewhere that you know is somewhere that you want to be. Otherwise, you could move to the most fabulous place on earth, and if you're only doing it because you didn't like where you were before, you won't be able to appreciate it because you're not valuing it intrinsically. You're valuing it in the context of avoiding something that causes you stress or depression. So this is obviously not an original thought. I don't think any thought that I'm ever going to have on this weird, almost contrived channel is original. But to me, it is original because of all these things, of everything I've heard in my life or learned or experienced. Very little of it do I actually consciously internalize and create meaning out of and use for myself. So to me, it's important to think about this, even though I know it's a common philosophical exploration. Because for me, it's okay, so if I don't like something, or if I do like something, am I just going to do everything possible to get more of that thing? Or am I going to do everything possible to remove myself from that thing? Or am I going to try to figure out what is it in myself that either wants A or does not want B, and find some sort of meaningful way to orient around getting more of A or less of B, instead of just choosing any which decision and running with it because theoretically it would provide those results, right? So if I want someone's attention, maybe the problem is that I'm discontent without that attention. It's not that I don't have the things that would gain that attention. It could be that, but then what? I get the attention and it's okay, so do I just want more of the attention, or do I just give up on all these efforts that I made because I achieved what I wanted? It just leads to, it doesn't have an end result. It's just temporary distraction, or a temporary way to sort of justify whatever it is that you're doing, thinking that it's going to create something better for yourself. But really, you need to find out who you are, so that the things that are important to you are self-evident, instead of just externally sort of following the guidelines of what out in the world looks to be important or good or beneficial or whatever. Sometimes I really think I should take notes or something before I do this shit, because I never find the right words and I'm always fucking fumbling the thoughts. But anyway, so I guess my point for myself is that I'm going to do my best to only do things that I know adhere to my identity. And I don't have a super strong sense of identity, but the sense of identity that I do have, that's what I need to discover. Okay, what is that true self, that true me? What is important to that person, as opposed to what theoretically would be important to the person that I think I should be? Whatever. Okay, I'm gonna end this. We'll discuss more further later. Adios.